The Tremoring Evolution video series is really about what you can do once you're very familiarized with involuntary movements. So it's really an advanced path with a hint of research and a scent of adventure. It's really for those who are passionate about tremoring, about involuntary movements, and want to discover more about it. So Richmond and I, we've been researching and exploring and discovering so many new possibilities, and we want to share with people. Let's go.
Your big brother, the brothers in arms, we are not in the opposition.
As we started talking about flow, we have to mention, that famous Hungarian-American professor, Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, who was the guy who launched the book about flow years ago, and after that, flow became really popular, and there were people all around the world trying to reach the idea of flow and peak performance. And one of the key aspects to go into flow is the ability to let go of the analyzing, rationalizing, thinking mind, and be able to merge yourself with the experience, with the activity. And the involuntary tremors, they have a huge, massive role on that, because they help so easily us to get out of that mind and into our bodies, and more able to engage with the experience. And if you're really aware of the potential of the neurogenic tremors, involuntary tremors, then you can go into flow easier and more often. Okay, what I mean about being really aware, the tremors are not only about releasing, they're also about opening up. So you release, you have the idea of getting rid of something. I'm getting rid of my tensions, I'm getting rid of my traumas. And the tremors, they also integrating and opening up qualities and potentials, and like opening your heart and opening your strength and opening your ability to be more grounded. And another thing is to have this split between I'm tremoring and I'm not tremoring. So usually I'm lying down, I'm tremoring, but then it finished. So we create this division between a tremoring session and a non-tremoring session. What if we could start merging them? What if there was no tremoring session, non-tremoring session? If we could be more into flow and just flow into a tremoring session and flow into our daily life, always connected with that space within us where the tremoring comes from. And there is another key point, which is start paying more attention to what wants to flow than paying attention to what blocks the flow. Sometimes we spend too much time looking at what blocks the flow. And really, the flow is already there. The flow is already trying to happen in any way. So if we start focusing and paying more attention in the flow itself, then we waste less energy trying to remove the blockages. The blockages will show up anyway. If you allow it to flow, the blockages will show up, and then you just learn how to flow around them and through them and let them become flow again. Because a blockage in the end is just a temporary static stop in the flow. So it's a freeze in the flow, like to use a term we like using in the trauma model. So the flow temporarily freezes, but it can come back into flow anytime. It wants that. That's the point. It wants that. How do I take that in my workshops? Well, first of all, to have a group makes a whole difference. So that author, Mihaly, he mentions three kinds of flow. Solitary flow, that's when I'm just flowing with myself in my activity. Co-active flow, that's when people are sharing the same space, but each person is in their own flow. And then interactive flow, and that's when we are together, and being flow is part of being together. We are flowing together, and we are aware of our connection and our flowing together. And he says that this last one, the interactive flow, is the one that mostly brings us joy and connection and a sense of belonging. And Jean-Pierre Rackus from Core Energetics, he used to say that in our core, there is the same power and life force that there is in the universe, creating galaxies and stars. So I believe the tremors to be the direct link with that life force, with that core. And they might be the best way to connect with that, so we can take our role in being a conduit for the greatness of life.